end, obviously, I took it to advertising standards, and luckily they absolutely understood my point of view, and yes, there was massive misrepresentation.
God, so is there going to be another court case then?
Oh, no, thank God, no, but obviously the testimony did really help with the divorce proceedings, because obviously he did state clearly at the start of the relationship he would not hurt me, guaranteed.
Right, I mean, it seems to me that this sort of lying and misrepresentation, it just seems to be everywhere nowadays, do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. That's the thing, you know, when he came home and found me in bed with Trevor from the Philharmonic, well, he left, and it really hurt, you know, that's the thing. So when I took that to, you know, the courts, combined with the testimony from advertising standards, well, the house was as good as mine.
Right. Well, I mean, it seems to me everyone is lying now. You had the thing with the BBC, with Blue Peter, and then you had that Ant and Dec thing. You know, the government as a whole is lying through its teeth.
Oh, you mean like the 45 minutes thing?
No, I was thinking actually about Gordon Brown as a whole.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I have it on the highest authority that he actually died early last spring. But you know, Labour, they spent so much money on like PR and rebranding that, you know, they just thought it would be easier to just knock up an old puppet out of like used footballs and string. They got Gregor Fisher in to do the voice. And they've been passing it off as a premiership ever since.
I know. I completely believe it. I mean, I think they've done the same thing with Piers Morgan.
Right.
I mean, they just went and bought a horse off a bunch of old gypsies, knocked it about a bit, stuck it in a suit and put it in front of the camera.
I mean, in my mind, it's that kind of lying, and that kind of, you know, this whole thing, I think it's eroding what makes Britain great, actually.
Eroding, that's exactly the word. I mean, look at the Holderness Coast and Stephen Fry.
Well, I mean, they're related, actually. I mean, if you tell a lie to a select committee, like, we lose a square foot of the Yorkshire coast, and Stephen Fry, he lives around there. And so what they've had to do is dismantle him, brick by brick, and move him half a mile inland. Reconstruct him there out of harm's way. I mean, it's absolutely atrocious.
Shocking.
Shocking is what it is.
Have you ever thought about what you might eat?
Well,
I thought I might have the oven-roasted economy with the white lie souffle, topped with a shaved mortgage scheme, seeing as it's a Thursday.
well, I'm actually feeling a little bit naughty myself. I was thinking I might go for the glitter shank with the king of pot potatoes. But only if it comes with the Bill wine and gravy. I mean, I hope that they can do that there.
Bad.
Oh,
But I take it you've heard about the government's new scheme to tax people based on their cholesterol. Apparently it's going to get people to slim down and save on food at the same time.
Well, you know, right now in Belgium, they're actually, if you exceed about 18 stone, they force you into liposuction. And they use the fat that they remove to fuel agricultural equipment. It's absolutely...
That's so typical. I mean, the Belgians are always such creative thinkers, aren't they?
But it's not worked. It's not worked at all. In fact, human fat turns out to be not very clean burning. So now they're part of the countryside over there, where it actually starts to rain Vanessa Feltz. It's an absolute disaster. It's a disaster.
I mean, all of these things are such a catch-22, aren't they? I mean, it's like that new scheme in North London to, you know, replace people's disability benefits with sawdust.
I read that. It's terrible for asthmatics.
I know, but very good for the bulimics. So it's a, you know, it's a so-so, isn't it? That's the thing. Yeah. I mean, but look at it this way. I mean, it's so obvious. If you take away people's benefits, they're going to turn to crime.
Well, of course.
I mean, around my way. I mean, obviously not my way, but the estate nearby. They've recently introduced bears as a new crime-fighting tactic.
I'm not following that at all.
But I think the idea behind it is that, you know, your average middle-class person on the side of a grizzly bear's going to turn tail and, you know, run on.
Right.
Whereas your more aggressive working-class type is going to goad and confront the bear.
Is it going to be quite antagonistic?
Yeah.
I quite like that. It's quite like an antisocial behavior order.
Yes, an ass bear. No, but seriously though, Simon, because think about it. I mean, yes, it'll even work for a couple of months, but then, you know, after that, a missing limb is going to be just another badge of honour. You know, paraplegics are going to be the new working class heroes, aren't they? Like that ghastly Heather Mills.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tragic. But I actually read recently that The government got their crime figures well wrong. The level is actually much lower. But now they're recruiting in party members to take up kind of mild vandalism and light arson, just so their figures are correct. I mean, it's absolutely appalling.
I mean, that rings true. I was part of that scheme last year. You know the one.
Oh, the venereal disease thing. Yes, yes, I remember that. Yes.
I mean, I wasn't expecting it, but at the Tory party conference, they actually infected me with, well, venereal disease, and obviously I was furious.
Well, naturally.
Well, you know, I thought, let's blow this whole thing apart, let's take it to the papers, let's do loose women.
Right.
But unfortunately, it totally backfired, because all it did was bolster their mental health figures, you know.
I'm not following, sorry, what's...
Well, obviously they misjudged those ones too, and it's strange, but apparently if you go on daytime television claiming that the government's actually purposely infected you with herpes, they think you've got screws. Unless, of course, you've been spending time with ex-Mayor Livingston.
You know, I wasn't going to mention it, but I'm glad you brought it up. I love what you've done with your herpes. They look absolutely... I could just eat them up. They are so beautiful.
Such a darling.
Well, there you go.
One must do what one must do.
Well, that's the end of this sketch. Let's move on.
Yes.